Hello everyone, I'm Dionysius and we're here together with Mr. Wilson.
Hello.
And today I wanted to ask him something about, in this era that the networking seems to be the thing, new connections, network as much as you can, social media and the rest. Are there any reasons or there were any situations that you had to prefer to cut bridges instead of keeping doors open?
Yeah, too many.
Would you like to elaborate and tell us about it?
Again, you have to be careful who you're dealing with. Again, there's one thing I say these days, your circle needs to be small and tight, not just big, full of crap.
Okay.
Yeah? So this is where, how many times I go through on a regular basis, I've done other videos about this and cut people out on my social media, etc., especially on WhatsApp or messengers. If people are messaging me all the time, I don't have time for it. If it's relevant, sure, but just sending me endless BS, I don't need it. About burning bridges, I've burned a lot of bridges over the years. And again, has it done me any harm? Maybe yes, but I don't think so. Yes, in some ways I could have made more money, things would have been easier, but I'm not a yes man. And it comes down to, I've walked off a lot of jobs over the years, especially when I was first starting. If things didn't work out for me, if I got pissed off with people, and I used to be a little bit hot-headed, people don't believe that, I know, but again, if I wasn't happy with something and I got into an argument with somebody, it's okay, I'll go somewhere else. I always had options for work, and this is one of the things I could choose because I always knew I could go and make money. I remember when I first started, one of the first freelance jobs I got, and I'll tell again, story. I ended up walking off this job, and it was one I thought, okay, yes, this is a good job. The pay was okay, and it was in London, and it was at a bakery.
Okay.
And they were firing a lot of staff because they had stuff going missing. They had a lot of crap going on at this bakery. And the job was passed on to me through somebody else. I met the guy before I'd done the job, ex-military guy, ex-senior rank, whatever, asshole. But work's work, right? And I remember turned up at this job, suited and booted.
Okay.
Overcoat, whatever, City of London dress, right? And this was at some bakery in northwest London. And we get there, and the place is absolutely filthy.
Ow.
Filthy. And this bakery supplied bread and other bakery items to top brand shops in London. And once we get there, this guy starts explaining things, this security manager. If you want to use the toilets, don't use the toilets inside the building because they're full. Seriously. And he was complaining they're firing staff because the staff were going to the bathrooms, ones and twos, out the back of the property,
okay,
where the dumpster was. So the whole back of the property was like an open toilet.
And this place was providing...
Mate, it was unreal. We went and looked into the toilets, and the place is like full of urine, and the toilets were full. The place was disgusting. And this is why they were apparently going to start firing people and cleaning stuff up. And this was a bread company, bakery, supplying to top shops in London. I remember going past some of these supermarkets after that, thinking I'm never going to touch that brand of...
Because I know where...
it's like.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm there suited and booted, and me and a couple of other guys were looking at this saying, okay, what the fuck, right? And the security manager was one of these ex-army guys. He was walking around suited and booted, wore a jacket or whatever on, and a little green watch cap. Wore watch cap. He's playing commander.
In a bakery.
In a bakery.
Full of...
Yes. And this thing just got more and more ridiculous. And they said to me, a guy's come to me, okay, we're going to start firing people and we need to call these people out because they have to go in front of wherever. And this guy turned up with all these, in bakeries, they wear those little hats.
Yes.
Like these little blue hats or whatever. Hairnets.
Okay.
So he said to us, okay, you guys are going to have to wear the hairnets. So we're suited and booted, overcoats and whatever, and you want us to wear a hairnet. I was like, this has got too stupid. Thank you very much. Goodbye. I'm going. Yes, but you can keep your money. I'm going home.
Have you ever thought about putting all these funny stories into a movie or something?
Yeah, but it
Because
was ridiculous.
nobody would ever come up with this.
But, I mean, I got better. But this is it. And I think the other guy stayed or something.
Yeah.
And it was just like, this is ridiculous.
Okay.
And the other thing as well, from a security management point of view, if you told me the real situation before I got there, I'd have most probably been, okay,
Thank you very much.
I'm not turning up suited and booted. I'll turn up with my bouncer stuff on, the door stuff. You know what? Pair of boots, black jeans, and a bomber jacket. And if I end up slipping and falling in a load of urine, I know what to expect, and it's not going to cost me a fortune in dry cleaning fees.
In dry clean, yeah.
But again, this is down to the manager. Again, I think we mentioned something about this before, not telling the full story because he wanted people to turn up.
Because he needed people. Yeah, but how about, yeah, since we're talking about, you know, burning bridges and the rest of it, have you ever had any regrets about actually burning bridges? Was there anybody that eventually you said, okay, there I was wrong? No? Okay.
Yes, short term, I think I walked out of a few jobs where I could have done okay for myself. But there's a reason I walked off those jobs in the first place.
Okay.
And again, there was obviously something wrong for me to be that pissed off. I walked off the job. And to me, it's one of the things where, and I know people said, well, if you walk off jobs, nobody's going to hire you, whatever. If somebody come to me and said, okay, I've had issues with this company, issues with that company, I'd look at the person and say, okay, well, and I understand what most security companies are like. I understand if you have issues with a security company. I understand the issues that happen because I've had to deal with the issues. And a lot of it is not, again, as I said, I've burned plenty of bridges, I've walked off, I got other stories, too many jobs. Why? Usually you're being treated like shit, you're being disrespected and all the rest of it. You have to set your standard.
Okay.
And if somebody come to me, I'm happy to work with people that had issues with other people. Because I'd look at the companies and say, okay, what do I know about these companies? Do they look cool or not? And again, if you're a good guy, if I think somebody's a good person, they've had issues with other companies, it's like, okay, it's not you, it's the companies.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of the times, especially in the security business. Trouble is, if you come in with high expectations and you're being treated like shit, okay, it's your right to leave. Go find another job.
Yeah.
But this is where you have to set your standard and stick to that standard. Again, in the early days of me, I was very, very fussy. That one example I mentioned there, okay, I was young at the time, but I knew how things worked. I understood how things worked, and I'm looking at this job saying, okay, this idiot was, okay, you're ex-senior British military or something, ex-sergeant major. Yeah, it might have worked in the military. This is a civilian world. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're talking about. You're playing soldiers. And again, he most probably called other people in because he was too scared to fire these people himself because he got his teeth knocked out. Yeah, you can't order people around. Yeah.
Well, many people with a military background don't understand when they're in the civil world
They
what
don't
they're
understand.
doing.
But this is where it's like, if you need to work for, especially in the close protection world, as far as reputation is concerned, I would sooner take somebody that's walked off a couple of jobs because I know they got attitude and they're going to do things properly. I want people to do things to a top standard, not just bodge things.
Yeah.
And this is where, if there's a problem, phone me up, we have a problem. Let's fix the problem.
Okay.
Rather than there being a problem, nobody mentioning it, and everybody kissing ass, and all of a sudden, oh, we're not going to tell the boss, we're not going to do this, we don't. You mean the next thing I get a call from a client, there's a major disaster at hand.
A problem blows up, and how did this happen? Yeah.
I need to know, and I need people that's vocal enough to speak up and say, okay, how do we rectify this? Or this isn't going right, we can make it better.
Yeah.
I'm happy for people to come to me and say, this isn't working, let's make it better. If they're talking BS, we'll have a conversation, we'll sort it out and see what the problem is.
Yeah.
Whereas most people will just blow them off. But that's it. Burning bridges, you know what? You're always going forward, you're not looking back, right?
Yeah.
That's a quote for today.
So yeah, set your standards, burn the bridges you need to burn, and you know, the adventure continues.
Another door will always open.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you find it beneficial and thought-provoking. And you can always use the comment section below for meaningful questions. Thank you very much.
Meaningful questions, as long as you don't dress in camouflage.
Yeah, well, as long as you dress anyway. So, thank you for your time. Bye.